Man, so we got breaking news. Diddy house just got raided. So we got the feds. Okay, we got the feds raiding Diddy's house right now as we speak. Um, they raiding his LA home and his Miami home at the same damn time. Diddy, of course, is nowhere in sight. He wasn't found at his Miami home or his LA home. They got like 3 people in custody, done handcuffed them and everything, took them off, detained them and everything. Like, ski, ski. This shit crazy. So yeah, man, let's get right into the video, man. You know, it's going down right now. So Homeland Security, the FBI, everybody, they over there raiding his house, his mansion in Miami and his mansion in LA. So like I said, they got 3 people detained. They found 3 people at the mansion in LA, handcuffed them, and took them away. So I guess they're looking for Diddy. So let's get right into it, man. You know, so without further ado, if you're new to the channel, man, like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
Those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect to whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now, it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure.
It's a big ass house
for the investigators to make their way in and actually start that search.
And we should mention
I ain't gonna lie, that is a palace, bro. That shit looks crazy. Like that shit look like something off The Sims. I'm talking about that house is humongous, bro. Like only 3 people in that big that big ass house only had 3 people in it, man. That's a big ass house. Who need a house that big? Damn. That's bigger than the White House, man.
Thank you, Stu, that if this is in fact involving a sex trafficking investigation, we do know that according to Diddy's attorneys and the rapper himself, he has denied any wrongdoing in any of all this. So there are 2 sides, of course, to this as this all plays out. But it is interesting that these raids happening at the same time. According to TMZ, a raid of his Miami home is happening right now, as well as now we're looking at the live pictures of what's going on in Holmby Hills at this mansion right here, all connected to Sean Combs. So again, until we find out further word as to what exactly they're searching for and why, we continue to look at the procedures taking place regarding this raid that's being conducted by Homeland Security. You have support from local law enforcement officials as well. We saw from the ground shots, you see multiple agencies there a part of all of this, and they have a number of resources on hand with a drone flying up top, as well as they had ladders taking a closer look at certain parts of the property. And so they are looking at every nook and cranny they need to in terms of why they're investigating this home and property. So clearly this is going to take a while, and as Haley mentioned, with her shot down on the ground right there, more people are coming to your area, Haley.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly media at this point. We were the first ones here on scene, but yeah, since there's probably a dozen different media agencies. Yeah, it looks like his homes on both coasts are being raided. We still have not gotten word on exactly where P. Diddy is, if he is in fact in New York right now or in Los Angeles, and of course, yeah, we haven't seen him here in Holmby Hills. This is right off of Sunset and Beverly Glen. And it all unfolded, I'd say, about 30 minutes ago. They're at his home here. They're also at his home in Miami. Of course, it's a little bit calmer, I would say, than it was about 20 minutes ago when it all happened. The guns that were drawn earlier have been since put away. It looks like they just put away their drone, but of course doing a thorough job of checking the home for any kind of details that they can come up with related to these allegations against sex trafficking. As you said, Sandra, there's several lawsuits against him for these allegations, all of which he has denied. So we will have to wait and see. Of course, and everybody's interested in the details of what how he's connected.
Man, look here. This shit is wild, man. Now, I'm not gonna lie. For a minute there, I didn't think they was gonna charge him. I thought everybody was gonna sue him and just get a bunch of money out of his ass. But obviously, the feds was like, "Nah, man, this is too much information that's coming out." They probably done pulled up on Cassie, pulled up on a whole bunch of people, man, that filing lawsuits and shit. And they like, "Look, we filing charges, man. Fuck all that." Like, they ain't even wait. You hear me? Like, as soon as this shit came out, they couple weeks later, you know what I'm saying? A month later, they own that. So yeah, man. And Diddy ain't no telling where Diddy at. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling where Diddy at. You know what I'm saying? He probably hiding out. You know what I'm saying? He see everything that's going on. He getting all type of phone calls and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. They raiding this shit right now, and you know, he's nowhere in sight right now. And I mean, you know, good for Diddy. You know that he wasn't there and got caught. You know, with his hand in the cookie jar, his pants down. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Uh, yeah, man. I just made a video not too long ago about this whole situation, like, and I was talking about how, like, you know, I didn't think he's gonna get charged criminally because they didn't do it off the rip. You know what I mean? And then it's like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Just now here it is. You know, so that, hey, you know, this been going on for years. They say so. This everything's coming to light now. You know what I mean? Everything's coming to light, but this is all allegedly. You know what I'm saying? This is all allegedly. Uh, he hasn't been convicted of anything yet, so you know he's still good. But and I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna be able to hold him in jail as rich as he is. He'll get out on bond or whatever and fight it in court. But like I said, everything's allegedly. Nothing set in stone. He ain't been convicted by juror. He ain't pled guilty. He ain't admitted nothing. Okay, and so I mean, him and Meek Mill's freak off just got leaked a couple days ago. They say Nicki Minaj leaked it. I don't know. I just heard it on the internet. You know what I'm saying? The internet is just, you know, it give you what you want, all entertainment you can get. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we're here. That's why we're here to give y'all the facts, give y'all the news, and give y'all the entertainment at the same time. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So, yeah, man. They got my man's in the gigolo squeeze, man. So we're gonna see if he can wiggle out of this one. But it's not looking too good for Diddy. It's not looking too good for my boy. You hear me? Let's continue with the video.
These latest allegations.
And from your vantage
We'll bring
point,
the very latest. I'm sorry.
yeah, from your vantage point, Haley, does it look like some authorities are leaving the scene right now? They're done, or not? Is that not the case?
No, it looks like more are coming. I think what you're seeing is just the vehicles moving to a different location. We're kind of at the bottom of the hill, but if you go up a little bit farther, some of the vehicles that you saw down here earlier have since kind of gone to the other side of the hill. This is obviously a very prestigious neighborhood. I said earlier, Humphrey Bogart's former house, I think, is next door to P. Diddy's in the 200 block here of Mapleton and Holmby Hills off of Sunset near Beverly Glen. So the vehicles have basically just moved forward. You're seeing a lot more of those law enforcement officers from the Department of Homeland Security, though, back here on the street in Mapleton since they've come out of the home after they've done their thorough investigating inside that beautiful home belonging to P. Diddy, to Sean Combs. So I don't think they have any intention, Sandra, on going anywhere anytime soon. And overhead, you can see law enforcement helicopters and, of course, Stu up there in Skyfox.
Thank you so much, Haley, for that perspective on the ground right there in front of that Holmby Hills mansion. Stu up in Skyfox, it looks like, yes, there are some more law enforcement, but in different attire. Should I say suits instead of body armor?
Definitely, and you know, and we all know how that works. The suits are going to be the investigators and probably the ones that are running the show. And again, I still think that they are just waiting for that green light for them to be allowed to make their way inside the property and to make their way to the areas that I would venture to say that they probably are pretty specific. I don't think they're just going in randomly. And again, this is just a guess. I don't think they're going in randomly, just going through everybody's stuff inside there. They probably have an area that they know or an office that they're going to be looking into or some computers that they might want to physically get their hands on. And that's what they're waiting for right now to make their way inside this property. This, like you said, very beautiful home out there in the Homely Hills area. And they just waiting to get the all clear to allow them inside. While these officers that we see right there in the tactical gear, well, their job is to make sure that everything is safe for them to go in. Now, they don't probably, and again, I just want to be clear. It's like nobody's thinking that there's booby traps or some kind of sniper inside the home. That's not what they're thinking at all. It's probably more along the lines of they want to make sure that everybody is outside of the home because they don't want to have somebody stepping out or coming out later on and, surprising or catching people off guard. That's not what they want. And right now, you can see Sandra, you've been saying, there's a large number of people out here. I would venture to say, as far as the officers go, I would probably put this group closer to 100. Not just what we're seeing right here. This is just one group of many that have made their way out here to this Homely Hills area. And as far as the suits that we were talking about, that's part of the group right there. But there's some other ones as well, younger ones that were basically leading the charge. And that's them right there, actually. They perfect timing. And it looks like they're making their way over towards the home. They might be the first ones to make their way in to start that investigation process or figure out where we're going to look, what we're looking for, and then later on the suits will make their way in as well. But this, like you said, is going to be a very long process out here, and this is just the very, very beginning. And the folks that they had taken into custody, they've moved them out of the area right now. And again, I wouldn't say that they are arrested. We don't know that for a fact. They took them into custody. A few of them still had cuffs on. Some of them didn't. So maybe this was a division of, these are people that we know work here. These are people that may be associated with Sean Combs, or Bad Boy Entertainment. So it's one of those type of situations. And until they know who they are, they're just going to keep them in custody and possibly just let them go later on. And I don't believe the word arrested has been used out here as of yet, but again, still very active situation. And of course, that is a huge house, and they've got a lot of rooms to clear before they allow those investigators in.
Yeah, that's a huge house. You know what I'm saying? It could be Diddy could be in there. That house is so damn big. Diddy could be in there. He could be on like the West Wing or something. You know what I'm saying? That's like 5 or 6 houses, bro. That's more than 5 or 6 houses. I mean, if we're gonna say 5 or 6 houses, that's like five, like like suburban 3 bedrooms, finished basement houses. Yeah, that's a palace, bro. That's not even a house. That's a palace. That shit look wow. Yeah, so like they said, he could be in there, probably hiding in the closet or some shit. Probably hiding in the closet, booty cheeks all clenched up and shit. Please, please don't find me. He probably on his cell phone and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, come on, he hiding in the closet like Jamie Lee Curtis was hiding from Michael Myers. He all in the closet. Please, they're here. Oh shit, boy. Oh shit, this shit is wild, bro. This shit is wild. You hear me? Hey. Oh man. But yeah, man, they finally got this nigga, man. I don't know what they gonna do next. You know what I'm saying? There ain't been no arrests. We don't even know if there's a warrant for his arrest. So they could just be detained for questioning. You know what I mean? They investigating right now. The feds is there. Obviously, you said the dudes in the suits. That's the FBI. You know what I'm saying? They leading the investigation. They just got all they foot soldiers there looking like the army and shit. They running up in there, making sure everybody clear. You know what I'm saying? Making sure ain't nobody got no weapons and shit. Making sure ain't nobody in the house hiding. 'Cause that's a big ass house. You feel me? And can't no 4 or 5 black suits go up in there and just walk and check the whole house and shit. They need an army of niggas. That's why it's so many police. That's why it's so many damn police. It's probably like 50 police out there at the minimum. I'm talking about at least 50, and that's the minimum. You feel me? Like that house is so damn big, bro. For real, that shit look like the White House. that shit look like the White House. Diddy trying to throw all this shit away. Like, damn, boy. That shit is wild, man. But hey, It's the world we live in. It's the world we live in, bro. So let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to this shit real quick.
Yeah, we talk about the process of bringing this many law enforcement officials to the scene to have a raid like this and conduct a raid and make entry into a Holmby Hills mansion that's owned by a prominent celebrity and their business. So clearly, this is something that doesn't happen just overnight. Law enforcement officials do have to have their evidence ready. They have to make sure every T is crossed in order to make entry into a home like this for an investigation. So when we talk about and see these kinds of raids happen or having them be conducted, it kind of shows that they do have enough evidence that their investigation is to a certain point where they have made a search warrant and they've gotten all of the evidence they need to have a search warrant, that they have to establish that a crime was possibly committed and there's evidence of probable cause and a crime that has taken place. So all of these things, they have to meet a threshold before law enforcement can just come together like this and approach a property and make entry. So we're seeing that here at Holmby Hills and also in Miami, where they are searching Sean Combs' Miami home as well. So again, this doesn't just happen overnight. This is a process that they've been working on for quite some time to make sure that they have enough evidence to be able to conduct a raid like this, especially with so many law enforcement agencies involved, investigators involved, and you see just personnel involved on location right there. And you do see a number of people. This is going to be an active situation for quite some time. Again, we don't know what they're looking for. We don't know what the interest is right now. We can only presume that it is part of a sex trafficking investigation. Those are multiple lawsuits that Sean Combs have been facing this year alone, allegations that he denies, but clearly this could be all part of the process here. But again, law enforcement does just not go in willy-nilly into a home and conduct a raid like this unless they get the necessary evidence they need to get that search warrant to acquire entry as well. So if we could take a look from Haley's point of view, it does seem like there are more individuals gearing up or maybe more investigators on the scene from the ground there, Haley.
Hey, Sandra, yes, we're actually trying to get an interview lined up, obviously live with the Department of Homeland Security. We had a lady come down here just a minute ago and give her card, so trying to contact her so we can, of course, get some official details from her, because everything that we're getting is basically behind the scenes from our law enforcement sources here. So basically, we don't have anything new yet. We're still just waiting to kind of figure out exactly what happened. We know, of course, P. Diddy's homes on both coasts have been raided. You can see some more officers coming out of his property right now, just trying to see if I could see the lady who we're hoping to get the interview with, and she's just messaging me back, so I've got to send her an email for the request first. So we're working on that to get you some more details. But yeah, it's still very active on scene, just more and more vehicles showing up. This is largely, most of the law enforcement officers here, Sandra, are, of course, the Department of Homeland Security, and then we also have LASD and LAPD here as well. So as soon as I can get anything official on camera, we'll come back and let you know.
Definitely. I know what it's like on the ground right there. You're dealing with a lot of officials trying to get some answers, trying to talk to people. And of course, it is very difficult to do two things at once. So we will let you get to work right there on the ground. Let's go up to Stu again. As I was mentioning the procedure of this, and you've covered so many of these types of stories, you've been overhead when these raids have happened. This isn't a process that just happens overnight. Clearly, they are looking for something. They have enough evidence, and they were able to get a search warrant before they could even do or conduct a raid like this.
Oh, you definitely, as Sandra, and what you're talking about really kind of shows exactly what you're trying to point out, that this didn't just happen overnight. This wasn't just an accusation and they came and, knocked down the doors and started tearing up the house. This was something.
Nah, they've been investigating. What you thought? What? It's funny, like they think like what? Like, I mean, my boy, what you thought was gonna happen? Why you think Diddy ain't nowhere to be found? Duh, this nigga knew it was about to happen. He like, man, come on, I'm about to get sued for all this shit. Like, ain't no telling the feds about to come. He probably got the heads up. The nigga worth $800 million. He probably got the heads up. Like, hey, they coming. He probably somewhere Hey, you know what would really be crazy if he never get found? Like he just disappeared. Like he going to run and shit. That shit'd be wild. Don't turn itself in or whatever. But they ain't not today. They ain't getting him today. He gonna make some plans, get some stuff lined up, get situated, get ready, probably turn himself in. But like I said, they on his ass, man. They on his ass tough. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of didn't think this was coming, you know, cause how everything played out from the jump, you know. I just felt like it was gonna be another Deshaun Watson case, you know what I'm saying, where niggas just get accused of a whole bunch of shit and then just pay a whole bunch of money and it just go away. You feel me? Like, but this shit look like it ain't gonna be that easy for Diddy. And I don't know what he did. You know what I mean? Allegedly, I don't know who he pissed off or what happened. You know what I mean? Because like, how do you do this for like decades and then all of a sudden it just come out of out the blue? Like, come on, bro. All y'all know what's going on. Ain't nobody telling no. Ain't nobody saying nothing. You feel me? And then all of a sudden, boom, it just come out the blue. Like, I think me personally, I think he did something. I think he pissed somebody off. You feel me? I think he pissed somebody off, and now they like, we coming for you, just like Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of conspiracies behind that. You know what I'm saying? People think that they killed him in his cell. He didn't commit suicide because he was going to leak out a bunch of information, and the other elites didn't want him to do that because Jeffrey knew his life was over. He was going to spend the rest of his life probably in prison. So they was afraid that he was going to come out and speak on it and set a bunch of people out and shit like that. So yeah, there's rumors that, you know what I'm saying, that somebody killed him in prison, or it was jail in New York, a New York jail. But I mean, same situation here might go down. You feel me? Same situation here might go down. But I just don't understand a lot of shit because, I mean, R. Kelly ain't never put nobody out there, and they lined him all the way up. I mean, but I would say his situation is different than Jeffrey Epstein because, Jeffrey, he had his own island. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no telling what type of evidence he had. You feel me? Like that they probably didn't even know about, like in his mansion or whatever, or on his island. He could have had like footage or whatever. He could have told the police where the footage was at. He could have said a lot of shit out. You know what I'm saying? So because they was playing on his playground. You feel me? But so I would say that's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? That's different than R. Kelly's situation. You know, but yeah, it just doesn't look like this going away from my man's Diddy, man. It's really not looking good for him. For real. So, I mean, we're gonna see how this unfolds within the next couple days. This is just the beginning. It's the beginning process, the first steps of what they do. First they come raid you, then they take you to jail, ask you questions. If they got enough evidence, they're gonna charge you. You know what I mean? They might not give you no bond. I mean, they gave Donald Trump a bond. Shit, his bond was like 93 million or some shit. Shit crazy. This shit is wild. Like, so more than likely they gonna give him a bond. They're gonna let him out. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen. And that's if he even get charged. You know what I'm saying? Because all of this is allegedly, and even if he does get charged, it's still allegedly until he's convicted by a jury and found guilty. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we don't even know if he getting charged. But when they raid your crib, like when they raid it like that, the feds, like, bro, you getting charged. Like I could, like I don't want to throw no dirt on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to burn no bread, but like, bro, when the feds, we talking about the FBI, when they raid your shit like that, bro, like it's over with. Like they got all the evidence, they got everything. You know what I'm saying? The feds got like the highest conviction rate than any other law enforcement agency, like the ATF. Everybody like the feds, bro. The state not messing with the feds. Like everything the feds do, like they coming. You feel me? So it's like it's not looking good. It's not. It's really, 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 really not looking good for Diddy. Let's get back into this video real quick. We're gonna find some breaking points, some key points. Cause hey, look, this is the first time I'm watching it. I'm watching it with y'all. You feel me? It ain't like I sat here and watched this and watched the whole clip of the whole situation and then got on here and talked about it. Cause this is the first time I'm watching it. I'm watching it with y'all. So we learning everything together. You feel me? And hey, look, when I heard it, I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. So hey, I'm just as stunned as you guys. Hey, I'm right here with you. Let's go.
Something that's an ongoing investigation. Lawyers, attorneys, and district attorneys, they all have to sign off on this. They have to look this over. Judges have to make that decision as well. And nobody wants to be on the end of a wrongful seizure. So, of course, they needed to show evidence that there is a reason for this type of force and for these officers to make
Exactly
their
what I
way
was just
into
saying.
this home. And then again, of course, in the world we live in today, all of these officers that are showing up, they all know that, you know, we are under there. Everybody's under a watchful eye nowadays. So they made every effort to do this as quickly and as less destructive as possible. We watched them trying to get through one of those side gates. That pedestrian gate was giving them a little bit of an issue, but in the end, they got in there. And after that, they made their way in very quickly. We didn't see any doors being smashed or things getting kicked in. It was basically a lot of opening up and just letting that garage door, somebody got in there and they opened up that garage door, and or possibly the people inside were curious what was going on and they opened up that garage door. But again, the forceful entry part of it, it really truly was just in a little bit here in that side gate. Everything else was very quick and with etiquette would be the best way to say it. Actually, they went in and they just did what they needed to do. And again, the reason why they're still there, I can tell you, it's not like a television show where they're pulling out drawers and dumping out clothes and just trashing the place. They just want to make sure that there are no other people inside that building that may still be scared, hiding, or having a problem. And then as soon as that word is given, which I'm sure is going to come shortly, because we already saw a couple of the groups making their way in, less armed. So they're making their way in. They're going to start looking for, and of course, even in that the warrant, they're going to have a list of things that they are able to look at, able to take. It isn't just a random search. They actually have to go in and actually find things that they believe have information or evidence that could create a guilty or innocent situation for Sean Combs. So at any rate, this is still very ongoing, very preliminary, but again, we do see a large force out there, which, like you're trying to say, or what I believe you did say, is that this is a warranted search. And of course, they are here and they are definitely looking for specific pieces of information. What they are, we don't know. We may never know, but right now that search is definitely ongoing.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, we've covered so many of these different types of raids. Obviously, not always at a celebrity mansion like this in Holmby Hills, but clearly sometimes you see them having to forcefully enter a property and seize evidence, and it doesn't always go so smoothly. And it was, in fact, very smooth the way they gained entry into this property. And after they figured out that side entrance, they were able to make entry. But it's not like they show in the movies, as you mentioned, Stu, right? They weren't battering down doors and destroying property. This is very methodical, and in terms of many stories we've covered like this, it was a very easy entry, and they were able to access the property and get on site. So clearly, they're ready for anything. Whatever they're going to be met with, you don't know, and that is why they make sure that they are safe in numbers, that they're armored, and that is why you see such a big force out there, because you never know what kind of emotion you're going to be met with.
Definitely, and emotion is really what plays a lot of it, and that's one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, right now, that was the gate where they were having all that trouble. They're actually looking at that actual door and propping it open, but that was the door that was giving them trouble, and I was trying to figure out if that is actually maybe like a private entrance for that back house. It does actually look like it. It seems like, you know, if you're staying there, that's how you get in and out without going through the actual house itself. But you can see they